In Sheffield, 4-year-old Lacey is in hospital after sticking a sweet up her schnoz. Lacey was at home watching TV.
She was munching mints when she stuck one up her nose.
Then when she tried to get it out, she pushed it up even further.
After trying to blow the candy out of her nose,
with a little help from Mum,
Dr. Chris has only managed to see small bits of the sweet.
So it's time to try some tools to remove this crumbly candy.
These are crocodile forceps. Snap, snap.
Dr. Chris goes in search of the sweetie with the crocodile forceps.
There are lots of nooks and crannies in your nose where a sweetie could hide.
Up your nostrils or in your nasal passages. Who knows where Lacey's sweetie is? To try and find it, Dr. Chris is using crocodile forceps. It could be anywhere around here.
It's tickling the tip of my nose.
After a search up Lacey's snout, there's no sign of the sweet.
There was a small bubble of snot that I could see, so I tried to grip that, but there was nothing in it. It was just soft mucus.
If there are any pieces of the sweet left, they'll come out by themselves in Lacey's snot.
So, are you going to stick anything up your nose in future, Lacey?
No.
Glad to hear it. Bye!
Bye.
In Manchester, waiting with her mum and dad is 5-year-old Alice, and it looks as though she's hurt her hooter.
Ooh, that does look nasty.
She fell over and bashed her nose, so she's got a nasty little cut just along the side of her nose here.
The witch came to catch me.
The witch? What's all that about?
Alice and her friend Colette were at school.
So where was the witch? Unless you mean those dinner ladies. Maybe they're cooking up a spell.
No, Xand. Colette was pretending to be a witch and was chasing Alice.
Run, Alice!
Alice ran through the playground, trying to get away, but the witch was catching up fast.
Oh no!
Alice ran faster and faster, and just as the witch was about to grab her, she tripped.
Uh-oh!
Alice went flying across the playground, landing face first.
Ouch! Here's ear, nose and throat doctor Ricky Powell. Maybe he can cast a spell to mend that snout.
What have you done?
I fallen over and hit my nose.
Dr. Ricky needs to take a closer look.
There are lots of nooks and crannies in your nose that could be damaged if it takes a bash. The nostrils, the nasal passages, and the bit down the middle called the septum that's made of bone and cartilage.
Alice's cut hasn't reached the cartilage, but it has sliced right through her nostril. Luckily, Dr. Ricky knows how to fix it.
She needs to have that stitched in theatre, so put her to sleep under an anaesthetic, and then we'll just get the edges of the cut lined up and stitched together nicely.
We'll be back later to see how Alice gets on.
In Manchester, 11-year-old Oscar has been brought to hospital by his mum when he came home from football with a sore nose.
Playing football yesterday at football training, we were winning 1-0.
Go on.
And someone elbowed me by accident, and then it felt like it just went on the side.
Well, I definitely stopped prodding it then. So, how exactly did this nose-bending accident happen?
It was football training at school, and Oscar was in goal. His team were 1-up.
They look a bit out of breath.
And the crowd was going wild.
But the opposition were putting the pressure on, and the ball was heading Oscar's way. Oh, where's the defence? He's clean through.
Oscar ran out to kick the ball clear, when all of a sudden there was a smash as his nose collided with his opponent's elbow.
Yellow? I'd have gone for red, but I guess ref knows best.
That was terrible, Xand. Oscar's nose might not look that bent, but with an accident like this, there's a good chance it could be broken.
It feels weird.
I bet it does. So let's get that weird-feeling nose seen to. Over to ear, nose and throat specialist, Mr. Bhaskaran Ranganathan.
He'll find out if anything's damaged.
Is it sore down here?
No.
Okay.
The nasal bone probably just broken at one point, so that has shifted that bone to one side.
With a break like this, that means only one thing, an operation.
Inside your nose, the tip is made of flexible cartilage, But higher up, there are two thin bones which make up your nasal bone. When these get a bang, they can break easily and need surgery to push them back into place.
Oscar's had a general anaesthetic, so he can't feel a thing, and now it's down to Mr. Bascaran to straighten his sniffer. The doctor uses forceps to pull the bones back into line.
This might look nasty, but if the bones aren't straightened up, Oscar could have breathing problems for life.
There's a few final adjustments, and before he knows it, his nose is normal again.
Strapped up with support strips across the bridge of his nose, it's all over.
And an hour later, he's woken up.
You look straight now, your nose is straight.
Well, Mum's happy, but what do you think?
It's straight now and I can play football.
Hold your horses. Your nose needs 6 to 8 weeks to heal before you can get back in goal. But for now, at least you're off home. Bye!
Snot. What is it? Where does it come from? And most importantly, since it's so delicious, why has nobody started a snot restaurant? Well, I've come to Cardiff University's School of Biosciences to find out.
This is Dr. Kelly Berube, and she's a snot expert.
Kelly, what is snot?
Snot is a natural polymer that you create. There's these little cells on all the mucous membranes that line all the areas of your body that are exposed to the outside.
This isn't real snot, but it's a special mixture that Dr. Kelly has made to show exactly why it needs to be so sticky.
Anywhere where invaders, proteins, bacteria could get in, you need to have this material to keep them off. So you're sticking to it now. It's like flypaper. So you inhale, boom, it sticks on there, and then the defender cells will say, that shouldn't be in here, it goes in and kills them. Or you sneeze it, spit it, or swallow it. Just got to get out of the body.
A mucus like this protects all the areas of your body that are connected to the outside world. So you make mucus in your nose, in your mouth, all the way through your gut to your bum, also in your lungs, and also covering your eyes. And mucus lubricates things, so when you have a poo, that's lubricated, and it serves to lubricate your tongue so you can speak. If you've got a dry mouth, you can't speak, and your eyeballs so they can move around in their sockets.
Snot is actually nasal mucus, and when it dries, it creates bogies. But why do they taste salty? Well, it's because snot contains a lot of chemicals, and one of them is salt. That's handy to know for my snot restaurant menu. Your spit also contains snot, and it's full of bacteria-killing chemicals too.
If all day, when you're well, if you spat all your snot and blew your nose into a jar, you'd end up with this completely full.
Yep.
So we think it's really disgusting, but we're swallowing this stuff the whole time.
You need it,
so is it okay to pick my nose and eat it?
Science and the theory says that if you pick your nose, because it has bacteria in it, and you eat it, you're spiking your immune system.
So there you go. Straight from the expert, it is okay to eat your bogey.
Well,
I'm going to start right away.
Yeah, I'm going to say socially it might not be acceptable, but if you're a closet bogey eater, Chris, which I'm sure you are, then it's probably okay.
Now, I'm just getting over a cold, so my snot is definitely not a healthy colour like this.
And this is what I've had the last few days. I've had a cold.
Yeah, at the beginning of a cold now. Well, what's happening now is that you're bringing in a lot of water, that more mucus is being made and more water is being retained.
These liquids show how your snot and mucus can be lots of different colours.
So what can we tell about someone from looking at their mucus?
You can tell whether they're sick, what kind of food they like to eat, what their occupation is, and even where they live.
Really? You can tell all that?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
What can you tell me about my body from looking at mine?
Well, we're going to have to pick some out. Are you game for that?
Yeah, well up
Okay,
for that.
let's go.
So I'm taking a good sample of my snot on this sterile swab. And now, mucus from my lungs.
This is even making me sick.
Sorry, but it is all in the name of medical research.
See, it's a little bit yellow.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but there are flecks of grey as well.
Yeah.
So, it's time to get the results from all of my sticky mucus and snot.
So what can you tell from looking at this?
If you look on the screen, the mucin is very thick and extended. It's done what it's supposed to do, like flypaper. It's trapped things. It's trapped a lot of soot particles. Obviously, you live in a big city, so it's done a great job, actually. It's done what it's supposed to do. Looks like some pollen in there, actually, as well.
Yeah, that ran things some.
Yeah, and if you're riding a bike to work or walking or something, you're going to take it in quicker. A lot of it, more than I would, just walking.
But that doesn't mean I shouldn't cycle.
No, absolutely not, because you've seen the mucus has trapped it. It's actually got trapped in the mucin, and you've coughed it up.
So the mucus in my body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's trapped all the things that could be causing me disease, and then I've been able to cough it up and get rid of it. So snot is amazing. It's vital for keeping you alive, and best of all, there's nothing wrong with eating it. The only problem I have is going to be harvesting enough to start my restaurant. Son, stop eating it!
Oh, sorry. Your body is brilliant. It can even repair itself if you get injured,
as this next boy will show you.
If there's a bone to break, he'll break it. If there's a knee to graze, he'll graze it. If there's an ankle to sprain, he'll sprain it. He's the unluckiest kid.
Your face has more blood vessels in it than anywhere else in your body.
Yep, that's a lot of blood vessels.
Up your nose, there are little blood vessels close to the surface.
They're very delicate, so a nose-picking finger can break them, making your nose bleed.
First, your body needs to plug the gap. Using platelets that are in your blood, they stick together like glue and stop the bleeding.
A protein called fibrin arrives at the wound and creates a big structure that makes a big, hard scab. New skin cells work their way to the top.
Then everything is cleaned by plasmin. This brilliant enzyme dissolves the scab, and everything is left looking good as new.
Not again!
Oh dear. Here, lives are saved. Doctors battle with serious injuries, terrible accidents, life and death traumas. So what terrifying problem has 13-year-old Reese brought in with him?
Well, basically, I was watching television last night with my nan.
Go on.
And I was scratching my toenail and I picked it off.
No way, you didn't.
And I went to scratch my nose and the toenail went right up my nose.
I'm sorry, what? He thinks he's got a toenail up his nose?
Apparently. Reese was watching TV with his nan, chilling out, picking his toenails, as you do.
I most certainly do not.
When he pulled off a biggie, a right naily corker. But then his nose started itching. He wanted to scratch, and with that cheesy nail still on his finger, he went for it. Both nail and finger went up the hooter, but only his finger came out. And Reese reckons that bit of toenail is still stuck up there.
Ouch.
Just a silly thing that's happened. But yeah, I'm going to get laughed at tomorrow at school.
Well, don't be too hard on yourself. There's a first time for everything.
I got my fingernail stuck in my eye once.
Right, so not the first time then. What is this, a hobby?
So, top that.
Enter Dr. Colin Campbell. Let's hope he's up to the challenge.
So tell me, Reese, what's brought you into hospital today?
I was picking my toenail and I went to scratch my nose, not realising the nail was still on my finger, and it went up my nose and I sniffed it off.
OK. He looks as bemused as me.
Don't get told that very often.
Very embarrassing.
Which side of your nose has it gone on?
It's my left nostril, it's gone right up.
First, Dr. Colin tries to see if he can spot the chewed off nail. Must be a pretty sight up there. Hope you're enjoying the view.
I can't see the nail now. OK, so what I want you to do, just block that right nostril, and as hard as you can, I just want you to blow out of your left one. Now this is the important bit. When you breathe back in again, don't breathe back in through your nose, breathe back in through your mouth. So we're going to do something like this, okay?
Off you go then.
Keep going. Blow as hard as you can.
We could be here a while. As you saw when we were sneezing, your nose and mouth are connected. It's a maze of passages and cavities, linking your nostrils to each other and your ears to your nose and throat. That's why, when you're sick, sometimes a bit comes out of your nose.
Gross. Meanwhile, back with Reese, there's still no sign of that nail.
Blow as hard as you can. That's it. Keep going. I never thought I'd be doing this when I come to work this morning.
Surely it must be out by now.
You'd have thought so. Oh, hang fire, we might have success.
It's gone.
Are you sure?
It's made a runner.
Yes, the nail has been nailed. But let's get another look up there, just to be sure.
I can't see anything in his nose. Can you feel anything?
No, I can't feel it.
You can't. Sometimes if you've scratched your nose, you know, on the inside, you can get a sensation that there feels like there's something actually inside your nose. You've not got that sensation now?
No, it's gone.
All right.
Well, there you have it. As for the whereabouts of the missing toenail, nobody knows.
I'm just happy that I can't feel it and it should be gone.
The moral of the story is don't pick your toenails and don't put them up your nose.
Back in Manchester, 4-year-old Didi is in hospital with a large screw wedged up his nose.
He'd been playing with his friend when they saw a shiny screw on the mat.
Didi loved the look of that screw, but so did his friend.
They both wanted that screw, and it was at this point Didi came up with a great idea. He picked the screw up and hid it up his nose.
Only it wouldn't come out again, and it's evaded all attempts to catch it. So now it's over to the surgical team to get that screw loose.
Didi's had a general anaesthetic to put him to sleep. This means the surgical team can delve deeper into his nose and pull the hiding screw out without him feeling a thing.
So here goes. With Didi totally still, it's not long before the surgeon catches up with that screw.
At last, it's out.
It's big.
Yep, it's a whopper.
I managed to get up his nose.
Who knows? But a couple of hours later, and Didi has come around from his operation to the good news.
That was in my nose. I was pushing it in.
Well, hopefully nothing will be going up your nostrils in the future.
And with his conch clear, he's off home. Bye!
I'm going to show you something about sneezing that you won't know. And Xand, I'm pretty sure that even as a doctor, you won't know this either.
First of all, I need to get Xand to sneeze.
So why don't you try rolling up the corner of this piece of tissue paper and stick it in your nose.
Really?
Xand, cover your mouth.
Oh, I'm covered in spit. So what happened there?
I put something up my nose and my body just blew it out because it didn't like it.
How does it clear your nose?
Right, like you sort of go like that and just blow everything out your nose.
That's what you think happens?
Yeah.
This is really good. So even doctors honestly think this happens when you sneeze, and that is completely wrong. So you don't blow anything out your nose when you sneeze. Everything comes out your mouth. And we can prove it to you if you look at this video of me sneezing.
OK, here we go. I'm going. I've gone. That's all saliva that was in my mouth, but nothing is coming out of my nose. It's only after I sneeze that my body will create mucus to flush out whatever irritated my nose in the first place. And that's when snot will come out of my nostrils.
So we've shown you that when you sneeze, the spray only comes out your mouth.
But imagine if Chris had been ill when he sneezed. Every single one of those droplets could have contained disease-spreading germs, and that's why it's so important to cover your mouth.
Now we're going to show you just how big and powerful a sneeze can be.
We're going to create our own work of art. We'll both drink different coloured liquids, then get a sneeze going to create our masterpiece.
Get ready for germ art. Okay, so you're going to go first? That's really good.
Thanks. Now you'll notice an amazing splatter effect, and that's all down to the speed our sneezes are travelling. 100 kilometres an hour, to be precise.
And remember, if we were ill, that would all be germs. I really like what you've done there, though. You've really drawn
the nose right.
I don't know why everyone doesn't paint this way. Now, with all this sneezing, look what started to happen.
Yep, snot. And that's the mucus our bodies have created to flush out what was making us sneeze.
I hope we've painted for you a clear picture of why it's so important to cover your mouth when you sneeze. Use a tissue or do it into your elbow. The bathroom, a place where you can store your toiletries. Is this your ducky? Oh. A place where you can have a bath. Or brush your teeth, but the bathroom can also be a place of danger. Can't it, Xand? Mm-hmm. For example, the water from the hot tap could be scalding hot. Oh. Or you could drop your mobile down the toilet. Oh. Or you could run out of toilet paper.
But apart from that, there's absolutely nothing to worry about, is there, Xand? Look, a spider.
Oops, a minor injury.
So what should you do if you get a nosebleed? Do you A, make patterns in the bath with the dripping blood? B, lean forward and pinch the soft part of your nose for 10 minutes? Or C, grab some garlic in case there's any vampires around? The answer is B. If you have a bleeding nose, the best thing to do is sit quietly, lean forward and pinch the soft bit of your nose for 10 minutes while you breathe through your mouth. And remember, it always looks worse than it actually is.
Hi. All done, it's all stopped, and I've even removed the spider. And put it in Xand's bed.
So remember, if you get a nosebleed, lean forward and pinch your nose for 10 minutes. But if you're worried, tell an adult.
Aiden came into accident and emergency with a pirate coin lodged in his nose.
Arr, gold doubloons, Spanish treasure, pieces of eight.
No, Xand, it was just one coin. Let's find out what the doctors do next.
Yes, in Liverpool, it's time for some treasure hunting to retrieve that buried coin.
It happened at home when Aiden was playing with Lego. He can build anything, but today he's building a car.
Nice wheels.
Then he noticed one of his pirate coins had fallen out of its chest. He was looking for somewhere safe to keep it, so he stuck it up his nose.
Ouch!
Today, Aiden's hoping to get the treasure out of his nose and back where it belongs.
And here to help him do that is Dr. Casey Vaughan.
Does it still feel like it's up there?
Yeah.
OK, time to dig for gold.
This might look uncomfortable, but it's important it comes out to prevent infection.
So it's coming, we just need to have one more go. You're being really brave.
So, one last go.
Shiver me timbers, it's out! Ew, it's all covered in snot, Chris.
Of course it is. It's been up his nose.
Yeah, everything's all gone. Well done.
But we're not done yet.
I'm gonna wash it.
Add some water, give it a rub, and it's as good as new. In it goes. Arr! Well done, Aiden. Bye!